What's up everybody, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. Today we have a video game character and a Patreon request. This is Mimir from God of War Ragnarok. This was requested by Hector on Patreon. Huge shout out to all my patrons out there supporting the channel. Helps me buy Sharpies. Thanks very much you guys. So let's give this a go. So he requested like the floating head sort of version. I think it's like a newer sort of design or something. So I'm on a landscape page. This would work well on a portrait page actually, but I just do everything landscape just because I'm in that habit, because YouTube is, the screen is landscape. So yeah, let's go. So a 3/4 pose face, right? So we've got a bit of, the eyes are kind of on a diagonal, right? 3/4 pose is basically means that you can only see 3/4 of his face. Like some of the face is turned away. The head is sort of turned, like of my hand. So if you turn this way slightly, this part of my hand will appear to be smaller, okay? And when you turn back, it's flat. So, and then eventually it disappears, right? So same thing happens with the face. This side of his sort of eye will get smaller and stuff like that. So what do we do? What to do? So we're going to start with the big eye. Right? Sometimes it's good to start with the nose, the small eye, things like that. But we'll start with the big eye maybe on this one. It changes depending on how I feel. So let's go up. He's real wrinkly kind of dude, right? So up and down. Right, like so. Got a bit of a tear duct in here, right? And this will go down. Around and up to there, right? So relatively small eyes. So he has an iris inside this golden thing, right? So you've got this sort of circle here. And it comes around the other side. There. Now his eyes appear to be black around it. Okay, so there's like black with sort of some gold flecks. So we'll just color it black and maybe we'll add some gold after. So we'll just color this in black. Now there's some details inside the eye as well. So say where his pupil would be, right, we'll draw it in. So we'll go, it's white, this pupil, right, but we'll just draw it in just at the top of his eyelid there, right? So it looks normal, but then we will add these shapes, right? So it kind of, and there's a bit of a line around the edge as well. And so a line kind of around the edge, and then these black shadow things here. They look like, I don't know, like PlayStation controllers or something. Like a black one there, something else here. And then something else here. And then, so this line that we drew just for the inside of the eye, you erase then. So basically it kind of looks like this is all one piece, right? And then I think this outside edge has little lines of rope going around. Kind of makes it look like a wheel or something. Right there like that. So his eyebrow's quite big, right? So he's got this sort of frown line here. And then this will kind of bump and weave itself because it's like a real hairy sort of eyebrow. Back this way, right? And we'll just add some hair along the end there. And then this goes back. Again, a sort of a hairy kind of eyebrow there. And then we have an eyelid line, which comes across the top of his eye, just there. Maybe like another sort of wrinkle along here. So then we got like some lines underneath his eye as well. So like a lot of bags and things underneath his eye. Some light kind of lines like this. Big bag coming around here. And like some wrinkles going up. That direction as well. Some wrinkles on the sides of his eye and on his cheek, and so as much of this texture now and detail as you want can be added. Kind of like that. So his other eye, we're in 3/4, so it's kind of down from here, right? So again, we'll just do a similar sort of thing. We'll just go frowning kind of line here. And then again, our hairy kind of eyebrow. Smaller now than this one. And then we'll go again. Real hairy. And it kind of sticks off the side of his head here. Might add a little bit of texture to these eyebrows. Right, kind of like that. And then his other eye. So smaller inside here. So it goes up, down, and then it'll come around the bottom and open to the tear duct, sort of in there. And then the eye of what we can see of it anyway, he's looking off to the left. So his iris kind of there, and maybe just a shadow on the edge just here. Again, the pupil, sort of same sort of process, right? So it's a white pupil, but we'll draw it in just so we get it in the right spot. And then he seems to have a line around the edge of his eye, and this is black, so we'll just shade this in black. And then we'll add those details. So those sort of black shapes. Around that eye. Like so. And maybe some of that rope, sort of. If we can add some, it's real small. Just around the edge. And then I'll just erase the lines in between the black sections. Right, kind of like that. So then eyelid line. Up and down here, with lots of wrinkles then on the corner of his brow. we're going for sort of a semi-realistic look here, so take your time with this. It's always difficult with line drawings, and slightly easier with shading. Right, so kind of like that, and then wrinkles and things all on his face and stuff. There is more wrinkles, but we'll kind of just add them as we go, right? So we'll go for his nose, right? So just coming down here, he's got quite a big nose and a big bridge on his nose. So it like curves down, like so, and then kind of sticks out here. Like that, and then it'll go around, and it's kind of like hairy down here, because this is where like his mustache would be as well. And then his nostril on this side comes down to meet his beard slash mustache area there. And then the nostril on the other side of the nose, just here, much smaller, because we're in 3/4. Everything on this side is smaller. Like that, right? And then we can see like a little bit of his nostril just in here. Right, if you want maybe the other side of his nose. The bridge on this side. Like a line coming down for his cheek. Just there. Like some more wrinkles coming across the nose. All these wrinkles. Kind of like this. Right, so the side of his face kind of comes down from the edge of his eyebrow just here. Right, so his cheekbone comes around into there, okay? This will go down, and then we have his mustache on this side, right? Comes from sort of the center of his nose kind of area, sort of there, and the other side here. It's kind of hairy on top. Right, this line, and coming from the side of his nose here, and these go into beads that are kind of tying his mustache together. And like as much sort of texture and stuff as you want to put on that now you can. So these beads tie the hairs of his mustache here, and they're golden. There's all patterns on them and things, but I won't be able to draw them all in. I'll just do little things like that. And then another one here. Right, kind of like this. And then the rest of those hairs kind of just stick down there. Right, like that. And then again, so we'll just add some more wrinkles and stuff to his face in here. He seems to have a scar on this part of his face here, like this. Right. Right, so what we can see of his bottom lip, right? So it's just kind of like maybe a bit of a shadow in under here, just for his top lip, and then the bottom lip will just go diagonal here and kind of disappear up into there. He seems to have tattoos on his lip. I can't really see, but it looks like. We'll do them in black. I think they're like navy, but we'll just do them in black. Like something else here. Hard to see because it's underneath these letters that are on his face. Something like that there, and then something here. Shadow underneath his chin. There's like more on his chin just above his beard, but we'll draw in sort of the beard like area, right? So just this hairy kind of start to it, and it goes up under here, and then another section just going up that way, and then there's some more primitive tattoos. Right, kind of like this. So then the rest of his beard, right, comes down from here. Now, you can draw this in as hairy as you like. He's real curly beard, but that would take a long time to draw, so we'll just add some sort of texture lines to it here. Coming down from there. And his beard on the other side, right? So this comes down, this eventually goes down to like plaited areas, like just down like here. All down here, but we'll just get the other side of it, get the shape for his face in first. This eventually will go up towards his ear, like to his sideburn. And then down. Like this. Sort of a plait coming down this way, and a couple in the middle. It could be like strands of hair sticking off on their own, sort of every now and then, sort of these hairy kind of parts. So there's like two main plaits here. So spikes kind of. And then just whatever you can see in terms of texture. So like, say like his cheekbone or something would have a line there. And then coming down the middle of his beard, we'd have some. And then some kind of this way. And then the plaits, just at the top of the plaits, you might have some lines on top. And then to draw in plaits, you kind of just do these diagonal lines from one another, kind of like this. See, the kind of one goes into the other. And eventually they become real hairy up here and disappear kind of. And there's all these individual hairs. the same thing over here. So just these kind of rough, kind of plaited areas like this, and then lots of sort of furry hair sticking off. And sometimes darkening up the edge lines help. Right? Like so, right? And you can add more or less texture to this, especially to the beard, if you want. Right, and I think he has these circular things hanging down here as well. Sort of things hanging out of his beard. Like this. Something else over here. Like so. Okay, so his ear then. So kind of comes out from the top of his sideburn. Curves around. Down. In around to the beard here. So, and if you look, an ear will normally line up with the eyebrow, the top, see? And the bottom of the nose. It depends on how much the head is tilted. But roughly, in this picture at least, in this pose, they line up together. So the lobe on the diagonal will line up with the bottom of his nose and the top of the ear roughly with his top of his eyebrows there. And then you can add some ear lines inside. Just some stuff like that. Keep it simple. So, his head, right? So it comes up to about here, and then he's got these two big horns that stick out, right? So on the other side, so the head will kind of go, imagine it keeps going about around here. So we'll go in behind his ear, sort of here. You could draw the whole thing in if you wanted and then rub it out after, but we'll just get the horns in. So around here we have a horn. So like curves around, sticks out this way. And this will kind of twist and turn right up near the top of my page. Curve around, come back down. Like that. The other one's about here. So it's kind of turned in a different position, right? So it'll go up a bit lower down than the other one, and then down to there. And then you can add the rest of his head just inside there. Now, so there's like some skin lines and things around the bottom of these horns where they stick out from his head. You know, sort of wrinkles and stuff. And then we have some edge lines and details inside on the horns. I won't do all of them because it's like elaborate sort of goldsmith stuff that would take a heck of a long time. So I'll do my best and get in what I can, the big parts, the main. And if you want to add them, you can. Just Google this image and you feel free to draw them in yourself. But it would nearly be another sort of tutorial to draw these horns. could have like, again, a sort of a braided sort of section here. Kind of like that. Then some sort of stuff in here. So I'm just doing this kind of quickly now, I'm not. And then sort of similar things over here. So like another sort of braiding pattern. And some more crisscross. So, some more stuff. Lots of elaborate shapes on that. Right, so we've got like some more wrinkles like around his forehead. So like his frowns, you know, have all these kind of frowning sort of forehead shapes. Some wrinkles coming across this way. And then he has tattoos on his head. Now, there's kind of a simpler one sort of around his ear. So it kind of goes here. It's kind of a double line. Around that way. All these Celtic sort of knots and Viking knots and stuff can be pretty complicated. So we'll do our best. Another one here. Underneath. And this one goes down around his face. Like so, and then there is some more sort of tattoo lines and stuff coming around these horns as well. So like you can do these as complicated as you want, really. Kind of thing. And then there's loads of letters all over his head. Now I can't see them all, but I'll just do in a couple that I can see. So there's like these rune type. An R, F, cross, arrow, another sort of chevron thing there. Going in behind his ear. And there's a couple of rows of these. I'll do 3 because I can only see 3, and if you want to add more, you can. So like another sort of F1 here, F there, something else disappears behind his head. Then this sort of X, the box. F there, that, and then something else on his head up here. Like an R there. Another sort of diamond sort of shape here. Another sort of row here. Do one more here. I can kind of make out this one. R. So I'm sure, like, if you wanted to Google the image, you could see what I'm trying to do here. But they're just all these sort of elaborate tattoos. I'm sure they mean something. And sort of, I'm just going to thicken up some of my edge lines now. Just around the outside. Just to make the outside edge stand out a bit more. This is optional, something that I like to do. I think it helps the character. And the drawing itself. It just makes it look a bit more dynamic, so it makes, you know, different line weights, make different parts of the drawing more interesting and stuff. And then, like, add more wrinkles as you see fit. You know, hairlines and things if you want. But I think I'll leave it there. That is how to draw Mimir from God of War Ragnarok. Hope it was helpful. Thanks for the request on Patreon. Anyone else have requests that they really need me to get to, head over to Patreon if you can afford it. Sign up and I'll get on it as quick as possible. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.